I'm going to do a quick video on the day in the life of a family physician on a farm. And there's about 10 videos I can come up with just immediately on what I'm doing. So these eggs right here are glassed eggs. And we did them last summer. So I wanted to do an update on our glassed eggs. So here was a previous jar of glassed eggs, and the consistency sometimes is thin. So they don't come out always firm like they do when you crack them open fresh. There were 3 cracked eggs in this jar, and they were bad, so I threw them outside in my compost. But these eggs, even though they were with the cracked eggs that were bad, did not smell and had no issues whatsoever. What I've been doing with glassed eggs for the last few months, we can't keep them at 50 degrees anywhere on our farm when the heat warms up, and this is July. So we have one more, besides this jar in front of me, we have one more jar of glassed eggs from last year. And I think we did about 15 to 20 jars. So we've used them mostly in making dog food. So here's my pot for dog food. And that's part of the pot. That's sweet potatoes you can see on top and collards. Those collards were some that we've grown in the garden in the front yard, and they had already gone to seed. So we'd gotten the seeds out of them. And these were leaves left over from the plants that we never pulled up. So there were lots of fresh new baby leaves growing here and there on the collard plants. So I put those in. And these are the sweet potatoes that I grew, that I did earlier today. So this is just a big bowl right here of sweet potatoes that I'm using to make dog food. And why am I making dog food out of sweet potatoes and collards and eggs, which these eggs will go in the dog food. I also use sardines. I use other vegetables that we need to pull out of the freezer before they're bad and they need to go in the compost. I try to use them before, to put in the dog food. So these are the ends of the sweet potatoes I cut off this morning, and this is July, so it's a little late to plant them, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we planted sweet potatoes last week and the week before for ourselves, just straight off the sweet potato, and we didn't think that they would grow. But they're doing great, and we mulched them. So I got a new bed ready to plant more sweet potatoes. So our plan is to try to make sure we get enough sweet potatoes to go all the way from this summer. Well, when we harvest them, we want to harvest them we'll harvest them in the fall before the frost. I think it's usually around October. So we need them to go from October to October. So the reason we're doing this is because of this little dog. She has skin issues, which means she probably has gut issues. We think that the food that she eats makes a big difference in her scratching. And as you see, she's scratching. And we give her a vitamin type product, and I give her hydroxyzine to try to keep her from scratching as much throughout the day. So she does pretty well with scratching, and scratching less if we feed her properly.